All right, let's talk about extensions. And I have a lot of extensions installed. Actually, I went through my list of extensions and I uninstalled a bunch of them because I just wasn't using them anymore. And so let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so we can see this nice little icon here. Let's get rid of that dot. And so first of all, I use code spell checker. This is really helpful if you're just trying to write comments in your code and you don't want to make typos, especially if you have a modern workflow at your company or at the future company that you're going to work at. Someone's going to review your code and say, actually, you have a typo here, and it's just a pain in the butt to do. So code spell checker helps me make sure that basically I don't have typos. Now, it's not perfect, but it works pretty well. Code Python isort. This is for sorting automatically my imports. So if I go over to Watcher and scroll up to the top, this could automatically import, or not import, but isort all of these by default. And I don't have to worry about writing these in order, it just does it for me. Community material theme, yep, we already went over that. Or did we? Maybe we didn't. Okay, so I don't think we did. So let's maybe talk about that real quick. Material theme, where are you? Material theme. I don't use the latest version because I don't like the latest version. I like an older version. It just gives me nicer colors, I think. So instead of using pink, it uses yellow. I just like the yellow just because it's a little more in my face. You may need to, if you want to revert to an older version, use community material theme. I use this thing called Django templating. So whenever you're working on a .html file, you can automatically change that .html file to a Django HTML file, and it just gives you nice syntax highlighting. .env is for environment variables, just gives you syntax highlighting for environment variables. Editor config is really nice, so if you have a new project and you just cloned it from GitHub, for instance, you might have a .editor config file, and so if it says your JavaScript files should have 4 spaces instead of 2 spaces, it will basically read that rule and it will honor it for you. So every time you hit tab, it's going to make 2 spaces or 4 spaces or whatever is set up in that editor config. And so you don't have to worry about writing different code from different people or having different indenting or spacing if you write Python. It just automatically works. I use Grammarly, the unofficial extension, just to help me with some of my spelling. Again, just because, you type tens of thousands of words a day probably when you start doing a lot of coding, and you just want to make sure that you're writing things that, don't have typos, that seem somewhat intelligent. Just because at the end of the day, you might have a little bit of brain fatigue, and Grammarly can help you with that. Jupyter Notebook. I actually don't use this, but I do believe it comes with the Python package these days for vscode. And so if you wanted to run Jupyter inside of vscode, you absolutely could do that. I don't do that. I use Jupyter outside of vscode just because I like the full experience. But you absolutely can do that. And if you're brand new to Jupyter, I would recommend using it inside of vscode. It's really, really nice. Markdown preview. This just allows me to write Markdown. So like if I'm working on a Git repository and I'm writing a readme.md file and I want to see if I've made any sort of mistakes or I want to see if it looks half decent, then I could just simply preview my Markdown. And all the instructions are in here as well to see how to really make this work for you. Where are you here? Oh, it's the very first one. I skipped right past it. Command K and then V, or Control K and then V, and it opens a preview to the side, which is really nice, and it scrolls as you scroll down your source code as well. Material theme, we talked about that one. Material theme icons, we talked about that one. Power mode, this one is really nice. I really, really like this. I know some people absolutely dislike this one, so what I'm going to do here is just close a bunch of these, and I'm going to show you what power mode is. So if I open up this file here called Watcher, and I just do a little bit of typing, you can see that little flame above my letters, and you can make that different. It doesn't have to be a flame. Sometimes, I believe they still have an explosion setting in here. You can go through the settings and make it like an explosion, yeah, or something like that. That's a lot of fun too. You can make it really big, you can make it really small. I personally like it just because it tells me where I'm typing, where am I typing. It just gives my eyes a little something extra to look for. It's also good, I think, for a lot of my students who are like, oh, wow, I see this whole page of text here. Where exactly is Caleb typing? And so I can just do this, and it's another thing for my students to take a look at as well. So I really, really like Power Mode. But I know about 1% of the people who watch my courses absolutely dislike it. They think it's too distracting. But you know what? That's only 1%, and Power Mode, I think, is a lot of fun. I use Prettier Code Formatter occasionally. I tend to use this on the command line a little bit more than I use in VS Code, but you can use the Prettier Code Formatting extension as well. And I use the Python extension quite heavily because I'm a Python developer. And so you're going to want to get this. And yes, it is from Microsoft. If you think Microsoft is a junk company, well, they actually make some pretty good things these days. If you're a big fan of Microsoft, then you're going to love this. But Microsoft makes VS Code, and it made the Python extension, and it is really, really good. And you can see it's got over 30 million downloads. RST Preview is a lot like the Markdown Preview. It just helps me with RST files. To-do tree is really nice. So if I open up watcher.py and I type something like $ to do a thing, it just highlights it for me. So it's easier to see. So if someone else writes a to-do in their code and I am looking at their code, I can easily see what that to-do is supposed to be. And it just sticks out a little bit more. So it tells me what is possibly missing. Vagrant file support. This is just so that .vagrant files or not .vagrant files, but vagrant files file type will have some sort of syntax highlighting. I actually don't really use this anymore. So what I'm going to do is just uninstall that one. I don't need that anymore. And Gennaro. This is a tricky one. I have no idea how to spell it, but this is pretty good. This comes right from Sublime, and Scott Barkman, a person that I actually know I used to work with, he ported this over from Sublime over to VS Code. And basically what it does is it allows you to take little shortcuts. So, you know, when you have a new file here, and let's just change this over to a .html file. I can type HTML:5, hit tab, and it does a bunch of stuff in here. If I change this over to a Django template, I can type block, hit tab, and it automatically creates the templating stuff for me. So that's really, really nice. I actually don't overly use this too much. I use it for some of the shortcuts like block or some of the template tags, but it's really, really powerful, and there's a lot of different things you can do in here. So those are all of the extensions that I tend to use on a daily basis. Sometimes I'll install the Docker extension. Sometimes I'll just remove it because I haven't used it in a while. Extensions come and go, but these are the primary ones that I tend to use pretty much on a daily basis.